What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the NOA Podcast. Because your co-host Tyler here, my man is Trey.
You.
We appreciate you guys for watching. We appreciate you guys for continuing to show us support. So thank you so much. You can find us on YouTube, on Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts. You can also find our social medias. That's going to be NOA_podcast on Instagram. It's going to be NOA Podcast 1 as well as NOA Podcast 2 on TikToks. There's two. We got 2 TikTok channels. We also have other YouTube channels if you guys want to see some more of us. We have NOA Adventures, which is our vlog page. We have NOA Podcast clips for those who can't listen or watch the whole podcast through. We got clips for you guys, and we also have NOA Reacts for anyone who's interested in the reactions page. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the NOA Podcast YouTube channel for exclusive content such as the Wednesday show. And let's get into it. Trey, how you doing, buddy? How's everything?
I'm doing quite well, man. How are you?
I can't complain. How was your Easter, man?
Easter was cool. Really just hung out at home. Played a couple video games. Spoke to my mom on the phone.
Okay.
But other than that, man, really was just quiet. How about you?
Mine was good, bro. I went back home for the weekend.
Got to see the family?
Got to see the family, so I got to hang out with them, which I was very happy about. Got to see some friends. Went on a hike, so that was cool.
Where'd you go?
What, on the hike?
Yeah.
Went to the waterfall.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. So those who don't know, it's like a place in like Ellenville, New York, and it's
It's
a waterfall.
Yeah,
It's a waterfall. That's the name. But like there was we got like spots in the waterfall. And I know I got to take you back when it's like nice out.
Yeah. I went more when it was overcast and it got dark.
It ain't the
real
same.
early.
Ain't the same.
So
Like
I didn't get the same effect.
Yeah, like when we went this weekend, bro, it was nice out,
Nice.
sun shining.
Yeah.
So like the main water part was like the first part, but then we walked all the way to. Did we take you to Frog Pond?
You might have. Yeah, you might have brought me there, but it was like much lower.
Yeah,
It wasn't like
it still is a little like low. I'm not sure if it's as low as the first time.
okay.
But we kind of made our usual stops and like saw the waterfall, watched that for a little bit,
Yeah.
kept walking, went across that bridge
Yeah, I remember
to the
that bridge.
beach house.
Yep.
That shit's still broken, which is
Of course.
it's
Who fixed that up?
Bro, we saw like people. Well, we didn't see people. But we saw like campers. Like someone like camped there. Like they have their tent and shit.
I'm sure that people camp there, but like no one's gonna like actually build up that house and actually like live there.
No. It's around.
There's no one's gonna do that.
So we saw that, and then we made the trip all the way to Frog Pond. And once we got to Frog Pond, we kind of just like chilled for a minute.
Who and you went?
Me, Miles, and Osar.
Ah,
That was cool because I haven't seen Osar in probably 1 to 2 months.
yeah, it's been a minute.
Nor talked to him.
Yeah,
And I haven't seen Miles, and I don't remember the last time I saw Miles.
really.
Like months and months and months on end. If it was a year, I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't seen Miles in a minute. I didn't even know I didn't even know he was coming until Osar just like pulled him to his house.
Oh, he just picked.
And I was like, yo, we're picking up Miles? He's like, yeah. I was like, yo, let's go. I was mad excited. So that was really fun being able to like hike with them, hang out with them, catch up with them, enjoy the outdoors and stuff like that. So that was cool. And then I continued to work on the team album with Everett. So I pulled it to the
Oh
studio.
yeah. How's he doing, man?
He's good.
I haven't spoken to him in a little bit.
Everett's doing good.
Wasn't he doing like bowling or something the other day?
Yeah, he still is. He low key like a pro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's doing
I know he said he had like competitions and he did something in, like Las Vegas or something.
yeah, he went to Las Vegas for a tournament. And if I remember correctly, he kind of just plays. Right now, he's kind of like just a sub for like teams. So like if they're down a player, they'll call him and he'll just like pull up and bowl. And he says right now he kind of likes doing that. He's been practicing, but I think he's going to continue like to do like tournaments. And I'm pretty sure he's like nice.
You know,
he is nice.
We should go bowling with him one day.
We should.
I think it'd be fun.
I'm gonna tell that nigga to teach me. I'm
Facts,
like, yo, I'm not competing against you.
I want to learn.
Yeah,
like I'm here. I'm here to be taught. I'm here to be
And
taught.
this is not a competition.
Yeah,
like, this is.
Yeah. We know who's better.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. We don't gotta.
We're not gonna argue this. Like,
like you got it.
Yeah,
like you got it.
Yeah.
But he's nice. He's nice. He's like low key a pro. So
okay.
it was good to see him. It was good to chill with him. Crazy enough, I'm from New York, and I never had. You know what a chopped cheese is? It's a sandwich that's like. Essentially, it's like ground beef and cheese, and then they put like lettuce, tomato, peppers, all the other shit. But it's like a New York staple.
Yeah, really. Where'd the chop come from? Did they just cut it in half or something?
Because it's like chopped up.
Oh.
So like imagine if
And
you
that's
took...
it's a sandwich that's chopped up.
No, just like the beef is
Oh,
chopped
the beef
up.
is
Yeah, not the whole sandwich. Nah, just like the beef.
Okay.
So they call it a chopped cheese.
All right, fair enough.
And I never had one before, so me and Ever went to go get chopped cheese. So that was cool.
And you've known about this your whole life. You just never.
My whole life is strong. Not my whole life, but like I've known about it for like years now. It's like a staple. I feel like also social media kind of helped it
Really?
push it. I feel like a little bit more.
I feel like if it was a staple, I would have heard of this at some point.
I mean, not necessarily not from New York.
You know, just because you're not from a location doesn't mean that you don't know what that location might be.
That's
like,
true. That's
predominantly
true, but
from.
you're less likely to know because you're not from the location.
That's fair. That's fair.
So like I knew about it. You have no idea what it is.
No. First time ever hearing
See,
that.
exactly.
Chopped cheese. I thought it was a chopped up sandwich. So
Nah, it's not chopped up sandwich. That should be low key fucked up.
it could be just kind of like sandwich bites, just like chopped up.
Nah, it's not that.
It's not.
It's a sandwich. It's only chopped cheese because the beef, they chop up the beef.
All right, word. Well, we get the main topic for the day.
Yes,
Trying something new. So the main topic we have is masculinity.
Okay.
And I have a couple questions that we'll kind of go over. So frankly, I just kind of go through all the questions, and then like we'll kind of get into it. So the first one is
Wait, are you gonna read the question, then we talk about it, then read the next question?
frankly, I was just gonna read all the questions out, and then kind of like go one after the other. Do you want me to do it the other way?
Yeah.
All right, fine. We'll do it that way. All right. Do you think there is currently a war on masculinity going on? That's the first question.
Okay. Do I think there's a current war?
On masculinity.
I believe so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason why I believe that is kind of what's just like being pushed and being portrayed in the social media. I think even like in our schools now, but I don't know much about schools too much, so I ain't really gonna like go down that route.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna kind of speak on what I've seen and what I kind of see in social media. One is kind of looked down upon a little bit if you're masculine. Like some people got some shit to say if you're if you are more masculine.
Yeah. It's
Also, they promote things that aren't. They essentially promote things that go against masculinity and that go against. I feel like I feel like, for instance, I think this is like a huge one, especially like in the dating community. If your girl going to a party and she dresses a certain way, and you be like, yo, chill, don't wear that. Like, go change. You're not wearing that. Nowadays, that's considered as what? Toxic masculinity. It's considered that if you were to speak up and say something like that you are toxic, that you're insecure, that you're not sure in yourself, and all that other shit. But like that's not the case. The case is, one, first and foremost, like I care for you, and you probably shouldn't be wearing that out. Also, as a man, I know what other men think. So like I know if you wore that, and I'm thinking what I'm thinking right now. Oh my gosh, you're gonna go to a party and everyone's drinking and stuff. All the men there are gonna be thinking the same thing. And also, it's kind of like men. It's kind of like an open invite. Yeah. If I'm just trying to hit, I'm gonna look for the girls wearing the least amount of clothes already. Because like it already just looks like she's ready to go.
Yeah.
But like that's an example of that's toxic. That's this. That's that. It's like no, that's not toxic. But it's being pushed that okay, you shouldn't be saying that. You should let your shorty go out and
she has a right to wear what she wants to wear.
She has the right to
She's
do
her own person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's just like one of the examples. I think now too with the whole like porn movement and them pushing porn, I think like it's kind of. I believe it is encouraging young men to go out and approach women and talk to women less.
Yeah, much less now.
And it kind of
doesn't happen as much.
Encouraging men to kind of just stay inside and pleasure themselves and just, you know what I'm saying?
Instead of actually going out there and trying to approach women, they're essentially just paying for it now online or just like watching it online.
Exactly.
And just staying at home.
Exactly. And I truly think also just a part of masculinity, I feel like too, is just like going out there and like actually.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. So what do you think on it?
To be honest, I agree. I agree that there is currently a war on masculinity going on. I believe now in our lives it's actually a lot more difficult to be masculine because you're perceived as a threat. Frankly, the questions that you would ask your friend, and it kind of really did open up my eyes to the way women think about a lot of how women think about men. A lot of ladies are afraid of men. And when you see a man that might be very masculine, might be very strong, outgoing, very straightforward and like blunt, they will perceive that as a threat. that he will like danger them or something. So there's that aspect of things. I agree that sometimes masculinity can be misconstrued, wherein a guy who cares about his girl, who's gonna say, hey, I don't want you going out, hanging out with certain type of people, I don't want you going out and dressing a certain type of way, can be seen as me trying to shelter her, me trying to hold her back. When it's merely, I care, so I'm just trying to protect.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, if I didn't care about you, like, I wouldn't tell you anything.
Have a nice time.
Go to your party with your friends.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah,
but like, if I care about you, then I'm gonna say, hey, I don't want you to, because I understand the realities of those situations.
Yeah.
I understand what can happen. Like, people get roofied, assaulted. It happens. It's the unfortunate. Yeah, I'm sure, and it's unfortunate that like that's the reality. And I'm not gonna sit here and cap. Like, there are some really dangerous men out there.
Oh yeah.
So like, you have to be aware of like that monster that is out there. But at the same time, I want you to do it in a safe manner. If you're not doing that, then I'm going to put my foot down in the sense of the relationship. And I don't want you going out like that.
Yeah.
I also think men who have standards are seen as very masculine, but they don't like that. Women specifically, of course, they don't like that. I've seen plenty of times, and this is kind of something that I want to do when the time comes. Essentially, tell your girl what your standards are. Now, you're not telling her what to do. So if she wants to go out to clubs, she wants to go out to bars, she wants to do all those things, that's cool. But you'll be doing all those things as a single woman. You just won't be with me.
Yeah.
And like, they'll get upset, they'll throw a fit, this, that, the other. But like, you just kind of have to be on your own square, on your own grind, and just knowing, all right, you have a right to do whatever you want to do. You dress however you want to dress, go drink, smoke, whatever you want to do. I'm not going to accept that from you, though. So if you're going to go do those things, we're just not going to be together.
Yeah. That's
all it really is going to be. I think our media, what we watch on TV, the things that's pushed in the news, our video games, it's with some of the movies that have even come out lately, it's hard to even see masculine men in them. Men are seen as clowns, the comic relief. They're either stupid, they don't know,
how many
or
men
they're like
how many men they put in dresses?
For real, or they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
They're just like there's no positive male role models. So because of that, a lot of young men don't know how to be men in the first place. A lot of us are being raised by single mothers. Moms are great, don't get me wrong, but they're not fathers, and they can never be fathers. But because of all of that, I think, of course, it is unfortunate, and we have just a lack of male role model, male leadership. I know we don't know much because we haven't been in school for a while. However, we were in school at one point, and from what I can remember, our schools were very much female-centered, to where it was more to the benefit of them than it is for the boys. And a lot of that just has to do with we're not the same, like men and women.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We're just different. Guys are just more, specifically young boys, they're more wanting to get up and walk around and do shit, like especially like while they're in school. Girls will kind of be more staying focused and such. But I think if we just kind of took a minute and tried to understand the young boys and tried to like hone and craft it on their skills, possibly, they can be doing much better than they are currently now.
Do you think that, kind of what you talked about, and this kind of goes more, I guess, for like females in a way, or maybe not females in a way, but you were saying people find masculinity to be intimidating.
Yeah.
And it could be, some might even say, a little like off-putting. If that's the case, do you think there's a benefit to being masculine?
Yeah, of course. As intimidating as it might come off, I think it's a necessary thing. It's what men are built for. That's what we're supposed to be. What's the opposite? Feminine. Yeah,
literally.
We see the shit show that's kind of taking place when men are put into more feminine
and what's crazy?
Positions.
And I guess at times it could be off-putting, and people got something to say about it, especially on the internet.
Yeah.
People are quick to say it.
Of course.
But yeah, I do feel like a lot of the dudes who are feminine, or a little more on the feminine side, I would say, get into a relationship. Typically, either they're never happy or their shorty's never happy.
Yeah, one or the other. It's never an equilibrium.
It's never an equilibrium.
No.
It's never like, oh,
The happiest relationships are usually when the woman's in their feminine
and the man's
and the man's in his masculine.
Exactly.
Because it's yin and yang. That's just how we go.
How it's supposed to be.
Masculine women going with feminine men. Don't get me wrong. Maybe there are 1 or 2 relationships out there that can actually work. But like on average, let's be real.
It's rough.
It's not going.
It's rough.
It's not going to bode well. Because eventually, Shawty gonna be like, well, this man's a bitch.
Type shit.
I don't like him. He's not gonna provide, protect, do all he's supposed to do.
Exactly.
You know, and vice versa. The man's like, well, I feel like a bitch because I'm like, bro, I ain't going out there kind of getting it. I'm not going out there doing what I'm supposed to do.
Or his female's disrespecting him.
And he's just taking it.
And of course, no matter, first of all, man or woman, no matter who you are, no one likes disrespect.
Yeah.
So like, if someone's just outwardly just disrespecting you and you're taking it and you're not doing nothing, bro, there's no way you're happy.
No.
There's no way. There's no way you're happy. Especially from your shorty at this point.
And the more you accept it, the worse it gets. Because it's not gonna eventually go away.
Yeah, it's kind of like the saying, "Give me an inch, I'll take a mile."
Without a doubt.
If I start now,
and
you let it slide, I'm gonna do it again. You let it slide again, I'm gonna do a little bit more.
Yeah.
You let it go again, now it's like, okay. They just keep doing it.
And you know, to come full circle back into the original conversation with the whole giving the inch, taking the mile situation, I believe we had much more masculine men in the past.
Yeah.
But we came to the conclusion, I'm not really fully sure how, as a society, that I think it happened after the World Wars. After the mass, not even execution, but just death factory that was those wars.
Yeah.
You know, the flower of youth of men that were coming up became soft after that. Yeah. It was like, all right, well, maybe if we go more to the feminine side of things, wars like that won't take place anymore. But we've gone so far towards the feminine now. Yeah. We've gone away from the masculine that, I guess, kind of brought those wars into fruition in a way. To where we don't have that happy balance that we once did.
I also think, too, I remember earlier you said standards. Like, you were talking about, like, standards as a man, and you'll tell your girl you have these standards.
Yeah.
I think if you could kind of apply that a little bit more to like a mass scale, and what I mean by that is, I feel like America and the world itself has just become a lot more accepting.
Yes.
And they, at this point, like, they accept everything. Which, like, I'm not saying it's not good to accept certain things or accept certain people. I'm not trying to exclude anybody.
Of course.
But I feel like as America, we all, at one point, there were like
standards. Yes, like we don't do this, we don't do this, we will accept this.
Yes,
this,
yeah. And now it's like we accept everything,
all inclusive.
Well, if you accept everything, then it's like, man. And that's all. Nobody special. If you stand for nothing, you fall for anything.
You fall for anything.
You'll fall for anything.
And I believe as a country, kind of now it's hard to say what are your morals as a country.
Exactly.
You can't answer that question. Yeah, you can't answer that question.
Nigga.
You know,
Crickets.
I know things were different back in the 40s and 50s, but I feel back then that question was much easier to answer.
Yeah.
Now,
and I feel like too, like everyone, at least I was saying in terms of America, was on like the same page. Yeah. Like you could damn near ask like a bunch of people, and they're all kind of like,
this is what we stand for.
Yeah, it all lines up pretty
now,
close.
If you ask that, it's polarized. It's all over the place. It's all over the place.
Exactly. But I think that also plays a role in terms of masculinity. I think a part of masculinity is really, truly is having standards.
Yeah.
And being able to, having standards, having morals, and being able to like stand on it. So like not just saying it, but actually say it. And then when the time's up, doing it or following through or actually being like a man or a person of your word.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. I definitely agree.
So it's kind of unfortunate. It's kind of unfortunate. For real. What? Do you think there's any way to change it?
Frankly, I was kind of going to get into like why are so many men not like masculine?
Okay.
Kind of like how to change that. I think, to be honest with you, it's going to be tough. It's kind of tough pushing against the grain. It's what's being pushed right now. It's the thing that's kind of the fad. That's what the cool kids are doing. It's cool to hate on men. It's cool to say men ain't shit. It's cool that's accepted in media, you know? If you do the other way and say like, you hate women and like women ain't shit, you'll get canceled, as they say. It'll be a whole thing.
Yeah, it'd be a problem.
And I'm not saying that that's what you should do, but I'm also not saying that you should hate men, you know? It's just like, well, we both kind of go hand in hand. Men are human beings too. We have feelings. I know it might seem like a lot of us don't because we're just stone cold, but we just kind of got to be this way because
crazy enough,
how we're built in a way.
Crazy enough, I think it's a little bit of the opposite now.
Yeah.
I actually think now men are showing much more of their feelings, but that kind of leads more into why I feel like a lot of them are more feminine, because I feel like they're showing much more of their feelings.
You think?
I believe so.
I don't know. So. I can see an argument for it, but at the same time, I think though there might be a lot of men that are showing their feelings, I think there are even more men that are just like not even bothering with society anymore.
You believe so?
Yeah, they're just like not participating in society at all. Essentially,
so like
just
just completely closing themselves off.
Yeah. I think the way men work, we are more likely to just disassociate ourselves, not even complain, not even go online and cry about it. Just like, all right, well, if I'm not needed, then fuck it.
Okay.
And just like be by ourselves and be like on our lonely type shit.
Just be isolated.
Yeah, and just like accept it for what it is. Now, I do believe there's probably a handful of men who are going out there and are like voicing their concerns, this, that, the other. But I'd have to, if you're saying that's the majority, I'd have to disagree. I don't think it's the majority of men doing that.
Okay, fair. Do you think there's more nowadays? Do you believe there's more feminine men than there are masculine men?
That's a great question. Do I think there are more feminine men than masculine men? That's a tough one. To be honest, I think there are more men that are confused.
I feel that, especially in our generation.
Yeah, I think there are just more guys that are confused. A lot of men want to be masculine, but of course, because what's pushed is more the feminine and being in your feelings and being able to communicate and all that. I think that's kind of what we see more of. So it might come off as there are more men who are feminine, but I do believe there are a decent amount of masculine guys out there. It's just not pushed. To fully answer the question, I'm gonna go with masculine. I personally believe they're more masculine men. That's what I want to believe, at least.
That's fair. I hope I'm right.
But I could honestly understand. Like the idea that they're more feminine men now. I can get it if someone believes that.
Okay,
it makes sense. Not to mention our food kind of makes us.
Our
testosterone levels aren't really
processed
there.
food. Also, like, you know what crazy? You brought up testosterone, and you know what? Maybe I can't kind of use this argument if I wanted to, but it's like technically I could be like, yes, there's more feminine men now, and that's because just like if you compare our testosterone levels to like the people back then, their shit was much higher
than it is now.
So I guess technically you could say that, but I also think like just whether you're feminine or masculine is not all about like your testosterone or whatever. It's just like how you carry yourself, how you act.
Yeah.
So I can't fully go.
You can't fully base the argument.
Yeah, type shit. Yeah, it's kind of a weak argument.
So why do you think so many men aren't masculine?
I'm gonna be honest. I think a part of it is kind of it's hard. Aside from it's what social media has pushed. Besides all that. But I also just think like personally how I think and how I perceive it. To be a masculine man, you need some type of like discipline.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You got to be able to be disciplined. You got to be able to control yourself.
That's true.
And I'll speak especially for a young man. Other young men are quite weak when it comes to like women.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, very.
Like there are many times I've heard and I've seen my counterparts, my friends, my peers, say one thing in terms of, all right, I'm about to get a relationship with shorty, and basically almost lay out
how you do it,
like their standards and like what they expect. But then once they get in the relationship, like that shit kind of goes out the window.
You go back on the standards.
Yeah, and it's because why? Probably just because you're weak to the feminine.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, men are driven by lust and sex, and bro, like that shit.
That's how our economy works.
And that shit could really change.
It's the reason society is the way it is.
Exactly. So I think it takes a lot of control to continue to be masculine. Yeah. I do think some of it's just how you carry yourself on a day-to-day. Like, just be confident, walk with your head up, chest back. When you speaking to someone, look at them in the eye, shake someone's hand, firm handshake, all that other stuff. Yeah. So, like, I think stuff like that I don't think is as hard.
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of just like every day, just how you walk around, portray yourself, have some type of confidence.
Yeah.
But I do think in terms of like having standards and truly standing behind what you say, that is difficult for anyone.
Yeah.
But I think that's a part of masculinity.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of young men who are in our age group struggle with that.
They also don't have anyone to teach them.
No.
I think it would be, all of this would be easier if we had older men, a lot of them in their lives, that can guide them and put them on that path. In our school system, we have, it's majority female teachers, decent amount, you know. I think a thing that a lot of us cherished coming up is we had our one or two male counterpart teachers that we can at least like go hang out with, that were just cool, you know. I think a lot of that is kind of dissipating these days because a lot of men who are around young kids are seen as predatory in a way, which I don't think it should be that way.
Nah.
But that is just how society treats
That's what it is.
men in that regard. And because of that, you know, we don't have strong male leadership, kind of like going back to what I was saying earlier, you know. A lot of guys are being raised by single mothers. Moms are cool and all, but, like, they're not dads. Yeah. You know, you need that masculine role model that you see go out. You see your father, he goes out to work in the morning. You know when you come back home from school, he's going to be coming home from work. And that's like that's good for any young man to see because it shows determination. Yeah. It shows that he gets up and he goes out and he gets it. That's what you're supposed to do as a man. You know, maybe on the weekends you like help him clean the house or clean the yard or whatever, like the housework that would need to be tended with. You know, I know some kids, they had fathers that you worked on the farm with them and they saw like those masculine qualities of going out there and going and getting it. You know, fathers are an extremely important aspect of masculinity that's being missed these days. Yeah, there's just so many kids being raised by single mother households.
Do you happen to have advice or any type of idea, like, what if you don't have that in your household? Like, how would a man still manage to... Because I learned a lot of my masculinity from my father. Kind of like everything you explained is pretty much like, it's pretty dead on that I kind of went through. Yeah. A lot of stuff I learned, especially like at a young age, just from watching him. Mm-hmm. Just like seeing how he like...
Yeah, how he portrays
himself. And then also I just seeing how other people react to him. Yeah. Like, he was quite well respected no matter what the fuck he went. Exactly. And he carried himself a certain way at all times. Mm-hmm. But for those who don't have a father figure or don't have that, how are you somehow kind of, I'm not going to say get that, but like figure out how to be masculine and how to be a man?
That's a good question. So for those out there who don't have that father figure in their life, I'd say seek it. I myself have gone through that before. And what I did personally was I very much craved a male leadership. I wanted to be led. I wanted to know what it was like to be a man. Though, of course, biologically, I'm a man. I get that. Yeah. But, like, I didn't know the full essence of what it was like to lead and actually, like, be respected in that regard. So I went out and I seeked it, you know. Whenever I got the opportunity to engage with men over the age of like 30 and so on, I took the opportunity to ask them questions, you know, questions about masculinity, questions about how to be a good father, questions about how to essentially be a man in the society that we have now. And what I did with that information, I took it, I evaluated the information, how I can incorporate it into my life. Mm-hmm. Now it's just for you to actually go out there and actually do the work to incorporate those things into your life.
That's fair.
Unfortunately, I know ideally you would like to have it already there, but, you know, sometimes this is just not how the world works, and you just got to go out there and find it in your own, you know. Just as someone would go out there and job seek or go out there and try to find food, you got to go out there and try to find those masculine role models. They are there, you know. I think YouTube is a great...
YouTube has everything,
great thing for that.
YouTube has everything.
If you want... if you as a young man don't have a father, there's a YouTube channel. I believe it's like Dad, How Do I? I remember finding that like a while back. And essentially it's just like a guy who teaches you like a lot of traits that your father would have taught you.
I think I know what you're hearing.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
That your father would have taught you coming up if you were like with him. So I think if you really want to find all those role models, they are out there. It's just for you to seek them. But that's at least what I would do. What also I had, this is more so in college because I didn't really have this a lot in high school. I had, of course, friends in high school, but not friends that I can, I guess, like look up to and try to
emulate in a way.
Exactly. I get a decent amount of the positive advice and such from like you and the team and other folks that we know. But having a good base of male friends, I think is extremely important for young men these days. We're currently going through a male loneliness epidemic, and a lot of that, of course, a little bit of that has to do with the fact that a lot of these guys don't have girls. But I don't believe personally.
Then we got friends.
Exactly. And I'm like, I don't believe personally you should put it all on the women to kind of like fix your loneliness problem.
Yeah.
It's not for the girls to fix your loneliness problem.
It's
for you to fix your loneliness problem. And if you're lonely, go out there and make friends. Go make friends with guys. Guys are cool friends. Like, we're some of the most loyal companions that you'll ever really
type
get.
Shit.
You know what I mean?
Type shit. Yeah.
So like, instead of you being lonely and trying to go out there and chase women, go out there and try to go get male friends that are like-minded, that are willing to build you up and help you to be the masculine man that you want to be.
Yeah.
But at least that's what I would say for those things.
Friends help, bro.
Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt.
Friends help.
Having an ear to listen to someone who can give you competent advice.
Yeah.
It goes a long way.
Also, like, you learn from your friends. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You're able to... I've learned a lot from you, and you even mentioned, like, the team, like, kind of watching them and watching how they carry themselves, too. It definitely does impact you. I think it plays a role into how you are. It's like the saying goes, you are the sum of the 5 people that you're around.
Yes.
So, like, especially finding, like, good, solid friends, not like crackheads. Like,
of course.
Good, solid friends.
You know, for real.
I think it plays a huge role.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't go to the gym before I met you. You know, I've always tried to go to the gym 1 or 2 times, but, like, you were the catalyst in that, and that's helped with my masculinity tremendously. You know, being social was like a big thing that I got into, and I know I kind of helped you along that path as well.
With that,
you know? So it's for them to essentially go out there, once again, not rely on just trying to find girls to fill this sense of loneliness that they feel, but actually getting a positive group of men. You know, if it's just 1 or 2 guys, that's cool. But if it can be more, like upwards to like 10 niggas, that's even better.
That's
you
cool.
know?
Yeah.
It's just having those people around you that you can call upon, talk to, chill with, hang with, that are having a positive impact on your life, pushing you to be great, pushing you to be better, constantly giving you, I guess, affirmations in a way that can help you go on to the next best thing that you kind of got going for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, not pushing you to do negative things like robbing, stealing, doing crime, getting into bad drugs, you know, getting into situations that you probably shouldn't be getting into. Because there, of course, can be very, very negative, role models out there that will really hold you back in life. And with men, one thing you got to understand is we are not treated like women. We really don't be getting second chances when we fuck up. So you gotta be on top of your shit. And you can't make certain mistakes, because certain mistakes will really cost you your life. That's what I think. So the third question, how can we reverse this cycle? I think we kind of got into that a little bit, low key. Just trying to find those male role models out there, to be honest with you. I think young men got to be proactive if they want to change themselves, because no one else is really good at changing them.
That's huge.
It'd be nice if the world, like, you know what, we're going to do this for you. But that's just not.
That's never going to happen.
That's
never going to happen.
And like we said earlier, there's kind of a war on masculinity in a way. So because of this, you really have to be in the trenches and fighting for what you believe at this point. You know, if you truly do want to become a masculine young man, it's not going to be easy. You know, even me and Tyler, we go through tough times at times, because it's like you're doing what's right, but you see your peers doing the opposite, and they're having more fun
type shit.
You know, and it's like, damn, I really want to be doing that, but like I know what's the right thing to do, and I have to try to stick to that. I do want to say one thing though. Of course, definitely stick to those smart things. However, give yourself time to
a little break,
adjust. Give yourself a little break. Don't burn yourself out. You know, don't don't be so strict on yourself to wherein like you lose yourself in the process.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Especially if you're young. Like, kind of be your age. I agree with. I think it's hard to reverse the cycle. I don't think we're ever gonna make kind of like the shift back into kind of like how it once was.
No.
I think this is the world we live in.
Pandora's box already been opened.
Type shit. And this is kind of just, this is what we have to live in.
Yep.
I feel like regardless of what media says or what media is pushed, I just, it's hard for me to get behind it. And and especially with women, when they're like, we don't want like a really masculine man, that's a lie. That's a lie. But like, let's say if you're a guy and you kind of do want to like be more masculine, I just think what you can just work on is one, just building your confidence.
Facts.
Just like walking around, like I said earlier, head up, chest out,
look
at people in the eye, like don't shy away from eye contact or anything. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. Don't be afraid what others might have to say about what you have to say. And kind of what I mean by that is if you truly believe in something and you say it and someone wholeheartedly disagrees with you, don't just like back down just because like
I actually believe
if that's truly what you believe. Now if they manage to
make an argument
and it happens
makes
to
sense,
that's a little different.
Okay.
But like if they're saying something and you're like, there's no way that I'm ever gonna get behind that, then say that. Stand on it. You don't gotta be rude about it. I'm not saying you gotta be a dickhead and be like, oh, you're wrong. Like your opinion's trash. I'm not saying any of that.
Yeah, of course.
But like if you believe in something,
you can respectfully disagree.
Exactly.
Because like you said earlier, man, if you stand for nothing, you fall for anything.
Exactly.
You know?
So stand on it. I think the biggest part is having standards. I think that's for me.
And morals.
Yes. I feel like the men who are very, very respected in this world
have standards.
And they don't go back on it.
Yeah, wholeheartedly.
Like they're like, this is
I believe this.
Exactly.
And if you cross this line,
then it's not, we're not doing this no more.
Yep.
Regardless of what it is, whether it's with friends, females, business, like they have their set morals.
Full circle all around.
And I feel like the most well-respected men are men who essentially have that.
Yeah.
It's hard to build that. It's hard to stand on certain morals and have certain standards, especially if you're the only one with that and everyone else is kind of like...
And I believe that's why it's respected.
Doing the opposite.
Because it's so difficult to do.
Exactly. You know? Exactly. I believe it needs to be done.
Yeah, it's a necessary. I
think it needs to be
without
done.
a doubt.
And also just like take initiative and like take responsibility for like your life.
Yeah.
Like, I understand, especially us, like we're young. And kind of to go to your point, obviously don't burn yourself out. Obviously, like it's still cool to go out there and have fun and enjoy life. But taking responsibility, I feel like helps a lot with like masculinity. Like you can't be a grown ass man and like having somebody take care of you. Like you got to be able to hold it down.
Facts. A quick question before we kind of get into the last one. Do you think there is any incentive for men to be masculine these days? Because you get so much negativity just for being masculine. I could see maybe someone making the argument of, well, if there's so much negative out there, what's the point? Why even bother? If I'm going to be pushed back against, not appreciated, called names, this, that, the other, why even bother being masculine? If I'm going to be intimidating to the women that I seek to get, why not be more soft and feminine? So, like, they like that.
You know, that's a very, very hard question to answer. And I asked you a question like that earlier, like, didn't answer. So, to be honest, honestly, Trey, it's very hard for me to answer that. To be honest, because I completely understand. It's like, why do something if niggas are coming for my throat? Like, why do it? I will say this, though, in terms of females and relationships. Regardless of what a female says, she wants a masculine man. Yeah. Regardless.
They do be saying shit they don't mean all the time, man.
Bruh. There is...
They say they want A, but they actually want B.
There is nothing you can say to me that have me go back.
That's a hill you're willing to die on.
Bruh. I've had females tell me that. I've also seen relationships where the man was not feminine. Was not masculine.
Yeah.
And homie's going through it, bro.
Yeah.
Shorty's talking to him like
crazy.
Like disrespect, like, bro, like
absolutely crazy.
Disrespectful.
Yeah.
Yelling at Holmes.
Yeah.
Hear Holmes over the phone. Hear Shorty over the phone yelling at, like, bruh.
Things that if other men did, he would without a doubt be pressed.
Bruh. Come on.
Man.
And I've literally seen, I've been in the rooms with relationships like that.
Yeah.
And she don't respect him.
Yeah.
Females are not gonna, she's the masculine.
Yeah.
And he's the feminine. And in that regard, she has no respect for him.
She ain't happy with it.
Exactly. She's not happy and he's not happy.
Mm-hmm.
She probably don't want to be yelling at her mans like that. And he don't want to be getting yelled at like that.
Yeah. I'm not a child.
I'm not for real, bro. If I'm 7'5", fair enough. Like I'm 30-something. What? Nah, bro.
Yeah.
Nah. The only person can yell at me like that is my parents.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Uh-huh.
But I don't believe that's truly what they want. I think that's what they say they want. I think that's fine in the beginning, but eventually you're going to hit a point where she's going to kind of get tired of running around, or she's going to get tired of your indecisiveness, or tired of taking care of you, or tired of all the bullshit, or tired of having to plan everything, or tired of having to take initiative and all that other stuff.
Yeah, but
she's eventually going to get tired of it.
She's going to go to another man that does those things for her.
Exactly.
That fills those gaps.
Exactly. Or she's going to make your life a living hell.
Yeah.
So it's like one of the two.
One of the two.
One of the two. I understand. I understand what you're saying. How society's kind of pushing
against
being more feminine. Yeah. If you are masculine, people do. But I guess I say this. The reason why you should still be masculine is because it's still a vital role in society. I think regardless, you still need masculine men no matter what.
Forever necessary.
It's forever necessary. Yeah. And that's why you should continue to do it. Now, you might face some BS. You might face some bullshit, sure. But I think also at the end of the day, people are still going to respect you. Yeah. Especially in terms of if you have standards, you stand on it no matter what, and that's truly what you believe. They might not like you, but they're going to respect you for it.
Yeah, I think masculinity isn't loved, but it's respected.
Yes, exactly.
And that's really at the end of the day, what it's going to be. And you as a man have to decide what you want.
I'm fine being respected.
Do you want to be loved or do you want to be respected? Because chances are, there's a good chance if you're a masculine man, you'll be respected. You won't get much love though, but you'll definitely get respect.
Nah.
You know. And from the people who understand what it is, that's the people you'll get the love from.
Yeah.
You know, but society as a whole might not.
But I think that's fine because also I feel like also society as a whole doesn't know you. So like even if like you go to the store and people might be upset by what you say or what you do or how you carry yourself, and they may like curse you out and do all this other stuff. It's like, but you don't know me. So it's like it's okay if you hate me because I know the people who really do know me and understand me truly love me. Mm-hmm. And I think of it kind of similar to like the YouTube comments, like how some people like are just they'll say some wild shit about us, out of pocket shit, and I'm like, bro, you have no idea who I am as a person. Yeah. So like, why am I going to
come crazy at you?
Yeah, or why am I going to let what you said now like bother me?
Yeah.
Because you've never met me, you've seen a 30-second clip, and now you're triggered. You know?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of that's just also just like not giving a fuck what others say, and also I'd rather respect and love. Because you could love somebody, still disrespect them.
Yeah.
Respect, you might not love me, but you still gonna treat me a certain way. You gonna act correct.
You gonna treat me
like
without a doubt.
You know?
Without
you're gonna treat me much better if you respect me.
To frankly answer the question, I think the incentive should be do it for yourself.
Facts. Facts.
That's
a good one.
What more incentive do you need than to you as a man becoming the best possible man that you can be? You know? Frankly, I think that's what I would go with in regards to it. Of course, society, of course, women and all that stuff. But it's kind of like, why do you go to the gym? Are you going for society? Are you going for women? Are you doing it for yourself? Most people, I would like to think, are doing it for themselves. The same thing with being masculine or feminine. You don't do it for the other party. You do it for yourself. And inadvertently, the other party ends up enjoying it too in the process.
That is fair.
All right, so last topic. Tyler was quite excited about this one. What is confused by toxic masculinity compared to regular masculinity? I feel like the word toxic masculinity is thrown around so much. I remember one time I was explaining something to a girl, merely just explaining my point, and she called me a toxic male just because I was I was explaining something. Another time, a girl called me and Tyler toxic because we wouldn't hug each other. And
Which is wild.
listen.
Which is wild.
Tyler's my boy. I love him.
Well, yo, I dap you up.
I've never hugged him before, and I don't plan on hugging him.
I just feel like a dap is enough. That's also like equivalent to like a male hug in a way.
It's
like
more than enough.
Type shit.
More than enough. But she called us toxic males because we wouldn't hug, because apparently it was against our nature or whatever the fuck it was. But regardless, I think a lot of women get regular masculinity, regular male standards confused with toxic masculinity, which, to be honest with you, I don't even think exists. I think it's just toxic people who just happen to be male and female.
Facts.
I don't think there's a toxic masculinity and a toxic femininity.
I think it's just
you're
toxic
just a shitty,
people
you're just
who
a
happens
shitty
to be
person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're just a shitty person who just happens to be masculine or happens to be feminine.
Trey, you pretty much hit on the head. Shit, I feel like there's not much I can really say after that. You pretty much hit on the head. What I find hilarious and what I find both funny but also like frustrating is like
they'll say any form of masculinity is toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
Just but like
anything they disagree with
is toxic masculinity.
Yep.
That's not how this works.
Mm-hmm.
But if you agree with it, then it's what? Oh, then it's fine. You could do that.
Yeah.
But and it's even shit kind of like the example I gave earlier with the whole like your girl going out and you feeling insecure, or just like having standards that you're willing to, and it's crazy because this is what is it called? I don't know what it's called, but I'll just describe it. And I know this happens a lot with females. It's like if a man has standards, he's like toxic. He's toxic masculinity. But a female can have standards that's perfectly fine.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like perfectly acceptable.
Yeah. I've seen girls explain videos, which is just delusional to me. But they're saying girls have these standards to do this, that, the other.
And as soon as the guy's like, well, I have these standards,
has the standards, he's toxic.
He's insecure.
Red flags. He's insecure. I've seen situations where guys are uncomfortable with the guys that girls friends with, and like, hey, I don't want you friends with those men. And he's like, oh well, I'm gonna keep them around because sure, but I'm gonna leave. Then he leaves and they get mad at him like he did something wrong. Well, I have a specific standards that I don't want you friends with other niggas.
Yeah.
I don't want you friends with other men.
Yeah.
Now, you can call that toxic masculinity as much as you want to. That changes nothing.
Yeah.
It's still my standards.
Yeah.
You have standards. I can't be friends with other girls. Okay, cool. I won't. Does that mean you have toxic femininity? No. It's just that's your standard.
Facts.
That's just what you.
But I believe a lot of people, and it's turned into just a buzzword now. They're just throwing it around for anything. And, I feel as though a lot of the words we use these days have truly no meaning anymore because they're thrown around for such mundane things.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, is it? I feel like in the past 20 so odd years ago, you calling someone a racist actually meant something. You call someone a racist now, I was like, all right, okay.
It is what it is.
It is exactly because they use that word for just such ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Same thing with toxic masculinity. They've used that word so many times off of things that really aren't even toxically masculine. It's just kind of like, yo, does it even truly have its original meaning?
Facts.
It doesn't.
I feel like toxic masculinity is if you're really, and same with toxic femininity, if you're like just really just fucking someone over. I agree with what you said in terms of you're just like a toxic person.
Yeah. You're just a shitty guy or a shitty girl.
Type shit.
That's it.
That's really it.
Blaming the whole thing on masculinity and femininity is stupid to me.
Yeah, but I think also some of that comes down to just like understanding what it is. Like you don't. One, obviously, what's pushed, which we said a shit ton of times, but also just like understanding what like real masculinity is.
Yes.
And I think also not understanding what real masculinity is going to just like lead you to see something. If you don't like it, then it's toxic.
And just like there are a lot of young men being raised by single mothers, there are a lot of young women being raised by single mothers.
Just a lot of single mothers.
So they just don't have the positive male role model in their life to show them what toxic, or not toxic, but positive masculinity looks like.
Yeah.
So they see that. They see a man who might have those qualities. Well, they think he might be toxic.
Yeah.
They think he might not be good because they don't understand it fully, kind of like what you were saying.
Exactly.
You were correct.
But it's unfortunate. This just never gonna fucking change. I think that term is gonna continue to keep going on. I forgot what we said, but fuck it, I'm gonna say her name. Gracie called us toxic that one time for I don't know what we said.
Yeah, really?
I don't know what we said, but she was like, "You guys are like really toxic. Or, like this episode's like really toxic," and I'm just like, Oh, damn. Okay.
Oh, I remember.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember what you were talking. I don't remember what episode it was, but I remember. I do remember you were telling me that.
I don't know if it was the breakup. It might have been like the breakup.
Yeah.
But it's like we didn't even say nothing. Maybe it was just because we might have said the word bitch a couple times.
Possibly.
And I think just because of that, it's like we're toxic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, like you're just upset by what we said. Like I don't think we're toxic at all. Yeah. We weren't degrading anybody. We weren't degrading females. We weren't doing anything bad. We were just kind of explaining our ideology or whatever. I think it was the breakup and explaining the topic and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm just like you're like people are just tight. They don't like what you say. So it's like, oh, okay, you're toxic.
You're toxic, man.
It's like, am I toxic or you just don't agree with what I said?
Yeah.
There's a complete difference.
Yeah. There's some accountability there that won't be taken.
Yeah, for real. It's like, yo, just say you don't like what I said. Now I'm like, okay, fair enough. Fair. Fine. Cool. I appreciate the honesty. But you're just going to like attack me? I'm like, all right.
Yeah, facts, man. But frankly, for the audience, let us know what y'all think about this. Do you think toxic masculinity is a thing? Do you think it's the absolute opposite? Do you think the war is currently going on masculinity? Frankly, let us know in the comments.
Facts.
We are closing advice.
We are coming to the end. So this is the closing advice. My advice would be, I guess, to kind of just go off of this. My main thing is just continue to practice just like being confident. I think also, especially young men, I think there's a lot of us have a very hard time doing, but like just like get a set of standards for yourself, for yourself, for what you expect from you, and then get a set of standards of what you would expect from like your partner if you're trying to get a girl or whatever, and try your best to live and just stick by that, and just like don't be afraid to walk away if shit just don't work out.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, walking away is the most powerful thing you can do.
Exactly. But like truly get a set of standards for yourself and for a relationship, and really just work hard every single day to make sure like you withhold that and you carry yourself to that, regardless of what other people might say, regardless of people disagree with your standards, or you try to get a girl and she ain't fucking with your standards or all that other stuff. Truly continue just to like stand on it. So that would be my advice.
Oh, okay. My advice is for those who don't have it, that don't have the masculine role model that they might want, go out and seek it, be proactive. Actually go out there and try to meet masculine men, learn from what they have, what they can teach you, ask them questions. If you do have it, cherish it, appreciate it, use it to your benefit, you know. If you have your fathers in your lives that are trying to actually help you out with some stuff, go to them, ask them for advice, you know. So that's my advice.
Right. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us.
Yeah,
appreciate you guys for listening to the NOA Podcast. Thank you guys so much. Once again, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts. Please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel for exclusive content such as the Wednesday show. If you want more NOA, you can find us on NOA Adventures, which is our vlog page, NOA Reacts, which is the reaction channel, and then we have NOA Podcast clips for those who are not able to watch the whole podcast through. Yeah. Once again, thank y'all. We appreciate it. Y'all take care.
Have a good one.